First up, let's go to Senator Joe Manchin on the Senate floor. The Senate is in session today on a Sunday. They actually worked last weekend as well on Saturday and Sunday. Here's Senator Joe Manchin. He's one of the crucial votes from the Democratic side. A lot of people jokingly call him, maybe not jokingly call him, they call him a dino, a Democrat in name only, but he does ultimately end up voting with the Democrats. But he will be a crucial vote when it comes to the reconciliation process as well, which will be the next step in passing the next stimulus package when all the Democrats, including Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, have to vote together with the reconciliation process to pass the next stimulus package as well. Here is Senator Joe Manchin on the Senate floor. Check this out.
Mr. President, I want to take a moment to thank my colleagues, all on both sides of the aisle, in this great deliberate body, for showing the United States and the entire world that the United States Senate is not broken. Actually, we're doing fine, and we can work together and do much better. We can also come together to accomplish big things, and we did with this investment in American infrastructure. America has not seen this type of infrastructure investment in the last 30 years. We've talked about it a lot, haven't seen anything. The polls have shown the American people are overwhelmingly supportive of this infrastructure deal. Americans of both political parties know it's long past time to make this investment. They want their roads repaired so the children are safe on their buses. They want better internet service so they can connect and compete in the 21st century. It's just unbelievable what we can do. This is clean water and upgraded sewer systems. You would think in the 21st century this not would be a void anywhere in America, but it is. It really is. This is the largest long-term jobs bill in decades. It will create good-paying, long-term jobs over the next 8 to 10 years. So if you want to basically making sure that we don't hit the highs and the lows as far as in the job opportunities, job markets, and the economy, this bill does that. It's the largest investment in clean drinking water and wastewater infrastructure in the history of our country. In the history of our country. It's the largest dedicated bridge investment since the construction of the interstate highway system. It's the largest investment in energy transmission on history and puts our money where our mouth is on technologies that are critical for the future. And it's the largest federal investment in passenger rail since the creation of Amtrak. And our bipartisan infrastructure package does not raise taxes on everyday Americans. It does not. A large piece of this bipartisan infrastructure bill came out of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, which I'm privileged and honored to chair. We reported the Energy Infrastructure Act out of our committee with a bipartisan vote after holding a legislative hearing and a robust amendment process. That's called regular order. It's something we've heard about for many years. We just haven't seen it for a long time, and it is working. The Energy Infrastructure Act will create good-paying jobs and demonstrate the energy technologies needed to reduce emissions while maintaining affordable, reliable, and dependable energy, and our nation's position as a global energy leader.
So he goes on for quite a while there, but that was a really nice summary of a quick glance of this infrastructure. Remember, this is going to provide billions and billions of dollars to every single state and for a lot of different projects. It's for over 8 to 10 years. And it's really a long overdue infrastructure package. Republicans have been trying to pass a big infrastructure package when former President Donald Trump was the president and Republicans were in control of the House, the President, and the Senate back in 2017 and 2018 when Republicans controlled all three. And now Democrats are in control of all three. And infrastructure has constantly been a thing that has always been on the minds, but it's one of those things that hasn't been passed in a large package for quite some time, many years. So this is something that has been long overdue. And remember, they started passing this right after the third stimulus check package. So they passed the third stimulus check package, boom, that was out the door, and then they kind of started working on this. And this is a very long overdue package. So this is really good for America because it's going to, well, number one, it's going to help our economy out. And as you said, or as he said, it's literally going to provide probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jobs over the course of 8 to 10 years. I mean, we're going to have to see how many jobs because, again, it's going to be over many years. So who knows how many jobs it's going to create over that many years. But not only is it going to create jobs, but it's going to pump billions of dollars into the economy in places that it's needed. And it's going to eliminate lead drinking pipes. It's going to help out with our internet. It could actually lower internet and cell phone bills, they're saying. So we'll have to see, but it's a very good thing for our country over the long run. Number two, the Senate actually voted on a procedural process on this yesterday and advanced this. So again, if you've been following this channel, or if you've been following the Senate or the House, you kind of know that this is part of the process. So they did inch it closer, and they are in session today. So the vote yesterday was 67 to 24. So again, not everybody needs to be there to vote. So they didn't have 100 votes here. The important part is that they got the 60 votes to pass it. So they did get 60 votes to pass it. And yeah, so right here. So debate on infrastructure bill stretches into Sunday. I believe they're going to try to do the final vote today. Yeah, there apparently is one Republican senator that is trying to hold up the vote. Seems like this happens occasionally. There's always one senator that says, oh, he doesn't like the bill, and they try to stretch it along. We had this in the third stimulus check package bill as well. We had one Republican senator from the I think it was Ron Johnson. If you remember this, he actually made them read the entire bill out loud. I think it delayed the bill by like, what was it, like 8 to 10 hours? They had to read the bill out loud. But alas, they passed the bill. So we're going to see if they do the final vote here today on Sunday. If not, it'll probably be tomorrow. But they are moving very, very, very close. In fact, they passed that procedural vote yesterday, as you've seen on the screen there, 67 to, what was it, 67 to 27. Once they finally pass infrastructure package number one, it will then go on to the House of Representatives. Okay. I do want to note a couple interesting things here. Number one, there are some House of Representatives called moderate Democrats, kind of like the Joe Manchin's of the House, pushing for a standalone infrastructure vote to just basically say, once it goes over to the House, to have the House just pass it, and then do the reconciliation process. Where kind of Nancy Pelosi has said, no, we want to tie them together. I don't think this is going to happen. I think Nancy Pelosi is going to hold her ground. But remember, I'm here reporting to you guys everything that's going on, good, bad, or indifferent. But we are kind of seeing some headlines like this. I don't think this is going to happen. But I did want to let you guys know this headline. Remember, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, has kind of put an insurance policy on part two, the next stimulus package, which they're going to be then moving on to immediately after. From what I understand, they're going to start voting on pretty much right away the opening parts of the next stimulus package. I've seen, and we've had it on the show here. I believe we've even had it right here on the show where Senator Bernie Sanders said they're going to start voting on it right after they pass part one. So maybe on Monday, something like that, or again, depending on when they pass part one, they're going to start voting on part two, the next stimulus package, the big one, the $3.5 trillion package, immediately after. So then we're going to start seeing the negotiations and the amendments and what's going to be in this next process in this next package. That's where things are going to get really, really interesting. That's where we're going to see amendments, what they're going to put in there, what's going to be taken out, where all the details are going to get. So remember, we're going to see that was where everything is going to be really, really interesting, because again, that's where we're going to say, hey, stimulus checks got to be added. Hey, we need to negotiate on this. We need to negotiate on that. Oh, I think the package is too large. Oh, I think the package is too small. That's where we're going to get into the really, really nitty gritty details. That's where we're going to see people standing up saying, no, I'm not going to pass this bill without this detail. I'm not going to pass this bill without that detail. And remember, that's where we have historically seen in the second stimulus check package, Bernie Sanders say, guys, we can't pass this bill without stimulus checks. They had to do that with the second stimulus check package all the way back from December of last year. So it just seems like they always have to do this. Like they kind of like wait to the last minute. They have to make a stand saying, guys, can't pass this without a second stimulus check package. I don't know why they have to do this, but it's almost like they know they have to do this at the last minute. It's almost kind of like we know we're gonna have to make a stand at the last minute. So it's kind of like we know we're gonna go through this process, this amendment process. It's kind of like where we're gonna say, hey, this is the negotiation process. So we might as well just wait till we're doing that to kind of they know the process. They know what they're going to have to go through. So it's kind of like, all right, everybody wait till we're bringing our cards to the table. The good news is, this is really, really good news. Is that one? It's very, very different than when they had to pass the second stimulus check package. When they were doing that one, it was a very, very different story then because that package was between the Republicans and the Democrats. And honestly, the Republicans didn't really even want to pass the package then. Remember Mitch McConnell? He really didn't even, I don't know, they just didn't want to pass another package. Okay. And eventually they agreed to pass another package under 1 trillion. Remember, they were just drawing that line in the sand of under 1 trillion. They always have this line in the sand at 1 trillion, 1 trillion, 1 trillion. They actually got the infrastructure package a little bit over 1 trillion at 1.2 trillion. And I remember actually saying when they were negotiating on the infrastructure package, they always have this line at 1 trillion, 1 trillion, 1 trillion. Now they did actually eke them up a little bit on the infrastructure package at 1.2 trillion. Okay, but the same thing was like the same line in the sand at the second stimulus check package all the way back from December of last year. Okay, even when Republicans controlled the presidency and the Senate, it was that same line in the sand. They always have this big kind of it's kind of like a mental hurdle of $1 trillion. I mean, it's a nice round number. It does kind of make sense. I mean, if you're negotiating, round numbers always make sense as opposed to uh 962 billion, which actually is what kind of the the bill ended up being. But it had $1 billion is like a nice round number that you're like, hey, no more than a trillion, right? So it makes sense. But if they were able to slip a stimulus check into a bill that was less than a trillion, it only kind of makes sense that they're going to have plenty of room in there to make a stimulus check for a $3.5 trillion package. Okay. Now, the Democrats have said that there's going to be child tax credit checks in there, and everybody knows what those are. They're basically just monthly checks for the children of $250 to $300 per month. Okay. A total of $3,000 to $3,600. But they're also saying there's going to be an adult tax credit in this next package. Remember, stimulus checks are just tax credits. So whether that's basically disguise of, yeah, we've already included the stimulus check in there, it's a tax credits. That very well likely could be the case, and that could be why we're not seeing people like Bernie Sanders and Pramila Jayapal screaming from the top of their lungs saying, "There's got to be a stimulus check in here," because honestly, they might already know that the adult tax credit that's in there is already included. I think that very well likely could be the case. I mean, these Democratic leaders, they kind of already have a good idea of what's in this package. So, and they've already let out to the press that there's child tax credits in there and there's adult tax credits in there. So, yeah, and it's $3.5 trillion. And we always know that Bernie Sanders is always like, "Hey, there's got to be money for the people in there. There's got to be money for the people in there. There's got to be money for the people in there." I mean, he literally does it every single package, and he's always the guy saying, "There's got to be a $2,000 stimulus check in there. There's got to be a stimulus check in there." He's the one in charge of this package. So I don't know. We're going to see. This is the largest package yet to date, and they don't have to negotiate with the Republicans to even pass this package. They know they're going to pass this package, and they know it's the largest package yet to date. So I'm just kind of feeling like, yeah, I don't see any problems here. I think this is going to be the best package yet. It's the largest package yet. So, yeah. I want to bring something up here before I forget. I've been seeing a lot of comments of people saying, "Jimmy, I didn't get my July 15th payments, my child tax credits, those $250 to $300 monthly payments." And this could also come into play with if we get monthly payments for adult tax credits, okay? Remember, this next package you're saying is going to be adult tax credits. So there could be monthly payments, okay, monthly stimulus checks in this next package. So again, pay attention here because, and also if you know anybody that has children, pay attention here because this might pertain to you. Or this might pertain to your children or your family or anybody in your family or your neighbors, anybody you know that has children. Or this might pertain to just the next stimulus check for the adult tax credit. All right, there's this IRS website here. Okay, advanced child tax credit payments in 2021. Okay, um, if you're updating your bank account information, it might be a little bit too late for August. But if you change bank account information or if you change address or something, you might need to do this. I also need to know that if you moved recently or anything like that, you might need to update your information with the IRS here. This is the link to do this. Also, if you're a non-filer, if you don't normally file taxes with the IRS, they changed this from the third stimulus check package. You don't need a single dollar of earned income. That's very important. Okay. I've been getting a lot of questions about what about this adult tax credit that they're saying is going to be in this next package? Remember, a tax credit is basically just a check, just money from the IRS, okay? They're saying in this next package is going to be an adult tax credit, okay? They changed this in the third stimulus check package that if you're a non-filer, if you aren't required to file a tax return and you haven't given us your information, you will need to give us some basic information for the child tax credit. And you could do that right here on this webpage, okay? They changed this from the third stimulus check package. You don't need to earn a single dollar of income, of earned income, of taxable income to get these monthly payments for the child tax credit, which are a total of $3,000 to $3,600 per year. Okay. They can do that for the adult earned income tax credit for the next package or the adult tax credit in the next package. They could change it. Again, they just changed this for the child tax credit. Remember, tax credits are just checks. They're just tax credits. They're stimulus checks or tax credits. I know this can get confusing, but the more you hear me say it, the more it'll make sense. Stimulus checks are tax credits. They're just checks. Tax credits are checks. Okay. Um, they can do this for the adult tax credit as well. They can change it to where you don't need a single dollar of earned income, and it very likely they could do this. Okay. They did this for the child tax credit. If you don't normally file tax returns, you have to submit your information to the IRS on this website, on this IRS website. Okay. If you didn't get your payments, you probably need to log into this IRS portal. If you didn't get your July 15th payment yet, you probably need to log into this portal or check if you're eligible. You can do that here as well. Okay. You might need to log into this portal and you might have to do an ID verification where they're going to like take a picture of your face and scan your face. It might take you half an hour to do it. It's kind of a lengthy process. They do this to prevent fraud. Okay, they had a lot of fraud with unemployment, the unemployment stimulus checks or the unemployment $300 per week unemployment. So they're trying to prevent that by literally like taking a picture of your face and scanning your face and doing an ID.me verification. So they're literally trying to prevent fraud. Okay, they're just trying to prevent people from stealing your money. So if you're missing your payments or anything like that, you probably want to log into this IRS webpage. I'll link it down below in the description of this video. The other thing you can do is just straight up call the IRS. And if you want to call the IRS, you can literally just Google IRS phone number. Here it is, 1-800-829-1040, 1040. If you want to call the IRS, 1-800-829-1040. So again, I've literally seen hundreds of comments of people that didn't get this. I'm here to help out as many people as possible. The child tax credits, these adult tax credits that are going to be coming out, seniors, hopefully seniors are going to get these Medicare extra payments, Social Security raises in the future. I'm here to help out everybody, guys. The government just extended these student loan payment forbearance where you don't have to make student loan payments for the next 6 months. If you didn't see that, I'll link you to a video on that. If you have student loans, literally 40 million people are going to benefit from that. The government just extended the eviction moratorium for 60 days. Literally, honestly, to be honest, they're literally trying. They're doing a lot here. Just in the last week, they've extended the eviction moratorium for renters. They've done the student loan forbearance for 6 months. They're trying to pass this next package as fast as possible. We know these things take time. This next package is going to be the largest package yet to date, somewhere around $3.5 trillion. It's not like the packages are getting smaller. The third one was 1.9 trillion. It's not like this next package is going to be less than a trillion and it's going to be a tiny, tiny amount. It's going to be 3.5 trillion. So if anything, I see a lot of positive. They're helping people with student loans. They're helping people from being evicted. The next stimulus package is going to be the largest one yet to date. Largest yet to date. I mean, if we think about the second stimulus check package was less than a trillion. This is 3.5 times the size of that. They could pass 3 stimulus packages of that size, and this would still be larger. That's how big it is. So I don't know. It's Jimmy here, optimistic. Very optimistic. 3.5 times the size of the second stimulus check package, and they were able to issue stimulus checks in there. So I personally think there's going to be stimulus checks in there. I think there's going to be child tax credit checks in there. Everybody kind of knows what that is now. I think there's going to be adult tax credit checks in there. I mean, they've literally said there's going to be adult tax credit checks and child tax credit checks in there. There's going to be Medicare 2.0. There's going to be free college in there. There's going to literally be like everything in the kitchen sink in there. And they're going to start voting on it like here within hours, like within 48 to 72 hours here after they pass part one, which could be today. Could be today, literally on Sunday. So Sunday. So